Hello and happy Friday. In Scripture, we're called to measure our days. And that means we're to consider carefully the things that we do, the places we go, the way that we spend our time. This past week, I was reminded by a friend of another way that we might measure our days, thinking about the time that we have on this earth. And if you take a tape measure like this and you kind of stretch it out for however many years you think you probably will live, it comes to a certain length. So I'm looking at the centimeters on this tape measure right here. And let's go real generous, like I'm going to go and live to 100. So if I were to live to 100, this is what the measure of my life would look like in centimeters. And so I'm 47 right now. So let's take off 47 years. And so that's how much time I have left. So of a life that started off this long, here I am here. I've got a certain number of days that God has entrusted to me on this earth. And as we think about the stewardship that we've been given, the resources that God has put into our hands, we've been talking about how we spend our time, talent, and treasure on this earth. And one of the principles that we've already seen in our study, and we're going to consider it even more this weekend, is how the way we use our time on earth prepares us for the stewardship that God has for us in eternity. And to be sure, God does have roles and responsibilities and a stewardship for us to carry on into eternity. And the way that we steward our time here directly impacts what that eternity is going to look like. It's a principle that we don't really spend a whole lot of time with in Scripture, but we're going to focus on it this weekend, and I'm excited to do so. I hope you'll join us as we round out our series, Steward of the King, God's Resources in Your Hands. And before I go, I want to put one thing on your radar. In a few weeks, on February 25th, we're going to have what we're calling a Vision Sunday here at Lake Norman Baptist. If you were here with us last year, I preached a series called For Lake Norman, where we rolled out a new mission and vision and strategic focus to reach the next generation in Lake Norman. Well, this year we're coming back and we're building on that vision with For Lake Norman 2024. And it's kicking off with a Vision Sunday where we're going to share some plans and aspirations that we have for taking some bold next steps in the mission and vision God has called us to. I'm excited to share this with you. At 9 o'clock that morning, we're going to all combine together in the worship center for a presentation of this vision and what that means for our church and for you and me as we are a part of it. And then at 10:30, we're going to have a combined worship service with our whole church family together as we celebrate the vision God has given us and kick off this series for Lake Norman as we lean into what God has for us in this coming year. So mark your calendar. Don't take vacation that weekend, February 25th. I hope you'll be with us. It's going to be a special, exciting Sunday in the life of our church as we rally around the vision that God has given us. So I hope to see you this Sunday as we wrap up Steward of the King. And all along the way, I would love to see you in the next few weeks. God bless you and have a great weekend.